Welcome back to another video. My name is Chazit and today I'm going to be teaching you all about crosshairs in Valorant. Aren't you lucky? Now if you're watching this video I'm going to assume that you're not happy with your crosshair, and that's fine because I'm about to make it really simple for you. Crosshairs don't need to be tricky, they're massively overcomplicated and you don't need to watch a 25-minute video to understand it. I've got 3 simple steps and they're all equally important, so make sure you watch until the end so you don't miss anything. Now, I wanted to say, if you're a returning subscriber, then thank you very much for joining us. And if you're not, then please do consider supporting the channel. Do what it says over there. That's right. There. Yeah, do that. Do that. Number 1, colour. Choosing the right colour is extremely important. You want the crosshair to have a high level of contrast from the background. Colours like black and white aren't really good options here because there's very little contrast between the background, and if you're in the middle of a gunfight it's really easy to lose track of. Now when choosing a colour you have to consider the colour palette of the game. Valorant is very reds and yellow dominant, so picking those colours again wouldn't be good options. You're better off looking at the complete opposite of that, so if you're thinking red and yellow then potentially look at green or blue. The best options in my personal opinion are light green and cyan. Number 2, shape. Now, jumping into game, we are greeted with this confusing menu. Working our way down, we start with the outline. Outline really comes down to personal preference. I personally choose to have it on with the thickness as low as possible, just to give it a bit of pop without being too much. Next up, we have this center dot. Now, you want to keep this off, as if you have it on, you can't see through the crosshair. This is extremely important for when you're getting better at the game and you're trying to headshot people. If you can't see their heads, you can't shoot them. Now moving on to inner lines, and this obviously takes up the majority of the crosshair. So looking at line opacity, keep that at 1, you don't want to put that on 0 because it completely disappears, which is obviously counterintuitive. Line length, I like to keep it at 5. If you have it too short then you don't really see it, but obviously too long and it takes up too much of the screen. 5 for me is a nice happy medium, and it's the same with thickness. If you put it on 1 then it's just far too thin, and any higher than 2 is just way too much on the screen. 2 is a nice happy medium. Don't even bother looking at outside lines, we don't use them and I'll explain why in the next section. Number 3, bloom. Now bloom is a crosshair spread indicator, spread being the area that bullets can go when you shoot. Now this can be accessed by adding movement error and firing error on in the inner line section. In Valorant, if you spray or you move, then the spread increases and your bullets are going to go all over the place. This is why you don't often see pros moving while shooting, they're always stood still, and you very rarely see people spray unless they're very close up. Now my recommendation would be, if you're new to action shooters like Valorant or CSGO, then to keep the bloom on. It trains you to stop when you shoot, make sure you don't spray too much, and just keeps you mindful of how that's going to impact your game. Now if you're an experienced person with action shooters, you're best off not having it on. Any extra moving parts for your eyes to keep track on is not good. If you're not sure which one you need, then play with both and see which one feels best. So in summary, choose a colour that has good contrast, either green or blue. Find a crosshair shape that suits you and make sure the lines aren't too thick or too long. Don't use a dot. And play around with bloom. If you feel that you need it, then don't be afraid to, but of course if you can get away without using it, then it's going to be more efficient for your game. If you'd like to talk to other like-minded individuals, then we have a great Discord community. Press the link in the description and I hope to see you there. But that's all for me. I hope you enjoyed and I'll see you in the next video.